It's good to talk to her. Now, on the day that the government announced a new business bank to boost lending to UK companies, we were talking about a short while ago, MPs have called an existing scheme in England a scandalous failure. They're talking about the Regional Growth Fund, which was created more than 2 years ago, with £1.4 billion set aside for projects. But the Public Accounts Committee in Parliament says it's passed on just £60 million to business. So it's a very modest fraction of the sum we were talking about. Downing Street says the report is out of date and failed to provide the full picture. We're going to talk to David Jones from Britain's Energy Coast, which has just received £5.6 million to fund private sector projects in Cumbria. David, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
Good evening.
Tell us a little about your work and your project.
Yeah, we've attracted £5.6 million of Regional Growth Fund money, which we've matched against the Nuclear Decommissioning Agency's £1 million of funding that we get at Britain's Energy Coast. And we think that will leverage in order of £30 million of private investment and create over 1,000 jobs. How
did you go about making the case for the money and getting it?
There's a strong correlation between the drop in public sector jobs and the allocation of Regional Growth Fund monies, and we're fortunate or unfortunate enough that our area suffers from that concern. So it was a good case on that basis, as well as the opportunities we have in West Cumbria to really create some valuable jobs to help diversify the economy.
Why do you think, I mean, I'm not asking you to criticise any other projects, but why do you think there's been such a shortfall in the money that's been handed out to projects? Because it's a huge gap. It's not just a few £1 million. It's hundreds of millions of pounds. Why is that?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of reasons, actually, Hugh. First off, the government has undertaken a huge change in how it delivers regeneration and economic development in England, with the abolition of regional development agencies. And secondly, the actual process that applicants need to go through to give the government confidence, in effect, that they can expend the money on their behalf, a process of due diligence, has created a lot of delays in the process.
So the process itself, in your view, is very cumbersome. Is there any hope of streamlining that?
Yeah, I understand from discussions with officials at the Department of Business Innovation and Skills a couple of months ago now, that their intention is to actually set some hard targets for that due diligence process, which puts an onus on the applicant, but also on the government officials who deal with the applicants to approve that due diligence process in a period of 2 or 3 months, which compared to our 10 or 11 months is a significant improvement.
And for those watching who would love to get their hands on some of this money for very good projects, you are a success. What is your tip? What is your tip to them in terms of presenting their case?
I think you need to have a strong economic argument to back up what you're proposing and the opportunities for growth. In West Cumbria, we're really fortunate. We've got a diversifying economy. We've got opportunities in the energy sector, and we're really focusing on that for West Cumbria. So it's really having a strong case to put to government that you're a good bet and a safe bet to deliver on jobs and growth.
David, very interesting to talk to you, and thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you.
David Jones there from Britain's Energy Coast, one of the projects that's got some of that investment money. So good to talk to him. And